going to chat a little bit about my craft show I did before, like leading up to Christmas. It was early December, and I'm going to give you some tips and takeaways from that. And I'm going to work on some acrylic blanks. So I've got the blanks here. I'm going to use my CrystaLac Grand Finale and different glitter and walk through sort of how you can make acrylic blanks. I'm going to work on some 3D ones. I'm not going to do the actual 3D part, but I'm going to work on them and I'll talk through it. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was my craft show that I did in early December. It went well. What I like about that show is that it's small. So if you're like trying to, whoops. Okay. If you are trying to get into doing craft shows, I recommend seeing if there's something in your community that is small or smaller. So what I like about this one is that like the local elementary school, like right by my house, there's one table, like one 6 or 8 foot table, and it's 3 hours. And it's a really good sort of one entry level type of event. So if you aren't, used to doing them, it's nice because one table means you don't need like a crazy amount of stuff. And since it's in my local community, I know the people. I know, who's going to be there. It's literally at my kid's school. It was my second year doing it, so I had an idea of what to expect. So if you are, getting into the market situation, I would see what research you can do when it comes to who's going to be there and the type of people who are going to be there. If you can connect with anybody who's done it before, or if you're like, you know what, you could go to the event like as a buyer before you sign up for it. If like they do multiple events per year, or if you're like, you know what, I'm going to check it out this year and maybe I'll do it next year. Because if you know the type of people that are going to be there, you can prepare. So I know that like where I was going, it's actually a lot of kids running around. So like, yeah, the parents are there shopping and they do the buying because they have the money. A lot of kids actually will like have some money from their parents and they're walking around buying things for themselves, or a lot of times it's actually as a gift. But because it is kids, like they think everything's expensive. So like I was like, you know what, I'm going to do my best to have some low cost items this year because I knew kids were going to walk around. One thing I didn't do a good job of that I wanted to, but I just like ran out of time, was have more stereotypical boy friendly things. Making glitter cups and keychains and random things like isn't necessarily boyish, although I think boys could use glitter. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just not something like a typical boy would gravitate towards. Or if they're like, I'm buying something for my brother, I didn't really have anything for them. I had like 2 cups that were like boy friendly. So I'm just looking at this wood grain that I have right here. So like if you're prepping for a craft show, and let me know in the comments if you do them, if you're interested in doing them. Hopefully I can actually see the chat. You guys can let me know if you're here. So anyway, if you're prepping for it, make sure you have like a wide variety of things that appeal to the people that are going to be there. And I say like do some research, because it could be like if you're doing it at a church and it's actually not just like at a church, but like religious people are going to be there, you might want to have a few things for a religious person. If you're doing it at an event that's like an outdoorsy type place, like maybe you want to do things with more of an outdoorsy theme, like try to get some things that like people are gonna like that are gonna be there. If it's like a hunting expo, you might want to make some things that like somebody who likes to hunt would like. Now that's not me, so I don't have any suggestions for you, but like you get what I'm saying, right? So I knew that one, there were going to be a lot of kids and honestly a wide range of ages. The actual school is K through 5, but like the 5th and 6th graders, if they're coming with their parents, they're there. So I wanted to have a few things for them. So a few things that I had were, I had glitter tumblers, and a lot of them I actually made last year, because last year I did this event and I had a table at a local store. So I had a lot of inventory left over that I just actually didn't do anything with all year. So I brought those cups with me. I didn't make a lot of new glitter cups this year, but I had a few, and those ones sold. What I sold probably the most of were my sublimation mugs. This one's a little crooked, but they were this like neutral image pack that I got from Creative Fabrica. And I had 2 different size mugs. I had this size, and then I had like a size that's a little bit taller with various designs. And all of the ones that I brought to the show with me sold. Everybody loved them. And I had somebody place an order for 10 of them. So like I had an order to go home and make as well. So like these are great because they're just so fast. But they did like the holiday theme. They were using them as gifts. They're stainless steel. So like these were pretty popular. This one's cute, but it's crooked, so that's why it's still here. The other thing that I made were custom ornaments. Now I didn't have the actual custom ornaments with me, but I laid them out like on my table. So these I made with my X-Tool M1, and I just had like the example laying on my table, and a bunch of people placed a custom order for custom ornaments. So because these were $15, and it was a way that like they could get something cute and meaningful as well as not spend like $40 on a tumbler. So I wanted to have, especially just like with the way the economy is and has been, have a few things that were lower price point. So I had these ornaments laid out on the table, and a lot of people put in custom orders. So that was pretty fun. And then I was able to take my payments for the orders on Square. So I had like my card reader thing for my regular orders, but what I did was I took my phone out and I like added a new item, and I typed in like what did they want? Did they want like a green Christmas tree? I had a green Christmas tree, a red Christmas tree, or the white and silver. And then I also had that hot cocoa mug. So like I put that, and then I put all the information I need to actually make the order, like what names they wanted. And then something that was really good for my business, and it wouldn't work for every market or every person, but because this was a community event, I knew everybody lived in my community and like literally go to that school. Like that's why they're there. So I knew everybody was super local. So I actually delivered the orders that I took from the show. So I said, if you place an order now, I'll get it done like give me 7 days. And next weekend, I will deliver your ornament, your cups, whatever. And this was super helpful because it was actually easier for me. And because everybody's super local and close, it only took me like 25 minutes to deliver all the orders that I had. And that was so much easier than conversating between everybody, like, and coordinating when they were going to pick up their ornament, when it was done. Like, it was just so much easier for me to I texted them. I said, your order's ready. Send me your address and I'll drop it off this weekend. And that was like a huge thing. And I think it helped people also be like, oh yeah, I want one, because like now I don't actually have to pick it up. It's going to get delivered to me. So if you do like a local community event, that could be something that you offer as well. I think that really helped. One thing I wanted to bring that I forgot were some Stanley cup toppers, like to go on top of your Stanley tumbler. So those would have been really nice for especially like the middle school aged girls and the moms who like their Stanley cups around here. This would have been fun. And I thought about something that you could do at your show is if you were going to do stuff like this, like little keychains, would be to also bring like your Cricut. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Hopefully they stop calling me. You could bring it and customize it like right there, or you could take the order and customize it at home. So like that was something that I did want to bring with me, but I didn't. But having like smaller, less expensive items alongside my cups that are more expensive was awesome. And another thing that I did, which I don't think that you need to do like every show, the reason I did it was I had a lot of inventory that I needed to get out. I was like, I would like to take almost nothing back home with me. So I had everything in my store on my table, buy two, get one free. So like a lot of people bought like a glitter tumbler, a sublimation tumbler, and then they got a free ornament or they got a free bookmark. I had like other small things. I had some, what other small things? I had some like small ornaments that I had just like vinyl on them. So like a lot of people got like an easy ornament for free. I had some like beaded pens and other small things that were like inexpensive. So I did buy two, get one free just to help me move the inventory that I needed to move out. I don't think you need to do that. Like, you don't want to sell yourself short. And I don't think like the only reason people were buying was because it was buy two, get one free. But it did help people buy two things instead of just one. And it helped me clear a bunch of inventory. So like that's really was like the main thing that I needed from that show. And I thought it went really well because I was prepared and I knew the people that were going to be there. So I think that's like the main thing. There was another cup maker there. Like last year they told me that there wasn't going to be like, there only is going to be like one of each kind of like type of craft. This year I do think they had more trouble filling the tables. And there was another cup maker there, which I was disappointed with at first. And then I realized like there were a few people I saw buy a cup at their station and come to mine and buy something else. So it's not an end all be all if somebody's at the same show that does the same thing. I also think it goes a really long way to be good with people. So you have to remember that like if you're at a show, if you're at a craft show, you are talking to the people that are coming into your store. You need to, show that customer service and communicate and chat and be smiley and nice. And I'm good with people, which is like, I was a teacher, like I can make good conversation. I'm really extroverted. So like it helps me make small talk with the people that are coming through. Just like asking, how are you? What are you shopping for today? Oh, that's awesome. I have some of these if you're interested. If you're going to take a lap, like I'll be here for the next 3 hours. You don't have to be like weird and like, oh, buy this, buy this, buy this. Look at this and this and this. Just like ask them how their day is. See if there's anything that they're looking for. If they're shopping for somebody in particular or they're just browsing. A lot of people don't come back and that's okay. Not everybody's going to buy from you. But being able to hold conversations with the people that do come through will go a long way when it comes to making your sales. So if you guys have any questions about craft shows or some of my takeaways from my show, let me know in the chat. I'm going to keep talking about it, but I am going to start making some acrylic blanks. So my sister, I have a few that I'm going to work on. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to like use up a bunch of the supplies that I have before I buy anything new. And I have a lot of acrylic blanks and I want to make them. So I'm just going to dig through here and see what I got. My acrylic blanks are from Zindy.com. You can get them in a lot of different places, but I just like have bought so many over the years that that's where these ones are from. A lot more people have popped up. I do have a laser cutter, so I can make them out of wood. I can't make them out of clear acrylic because I have a diode laser. I have an X-Tool M1. So these are clear acrylics. They just have paper on them. So I'm actually going to make a couple specific things. I want to make like an Our First Home ornament. Obviously, Christmas is past, but I do have a friend in mind that I want to make this for, who recently bought their first home. So I want her to have an ornament. I'm just going to be a little late past Christmas. I did some home signs, like HME signs, and then like you change out the O. I made them with my laser cutter, but some of the things that I did for the O were not my actual favorite. So this is actually a turkey. And so that's a good one for Thanksgiving. I made one for my mother-in-law and one for my husband's grandmother. And so I didn't make anything for Thanksgiving because I just like made a couple. I made like a heart for Valentine's Day, a like 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day. I made an American flag for the 4th of July. I did like a sunflower for summer. I did a really cute gingerbread house. I wish I had another one to show you guys. I'll try to make a video. Let me know in the chat if you want to see that sign. But the gingerbread house I made was so super cute. I did the base actually with this liquid mica or Mystic Mica. I don't know what they're calling it, from the CrystaLac store. I can show you what it looks like on this clear. And then I'm going to make, did I say already? I'm going to make my sister a Stanley topper. She got a Stanley tumbler for Christmas. And I want to show you, I have a black acrylic and a white acrylic. So I'm going to show you how to add some glitter to these. And I do not use epoxy. I don't like to use UV resin because they're toxic. So I use CrystaLac Grand Finale. So I'm going to just kind of walk through how to do these. I'll probably have to get up and grab some glitter here in a minute, but I have to decide. Okay, I need a gold. I'm going to do a gold turkey. I'm going to do a gold house. So I'm going to try to find one gold I can use for both of those. I'm going to use black glitter on these Minnie Mouse ears. Minnie Mouse ears. I don't think they sell them as Minnie Mouse, but maybe just mouse ears. And this black acrylic. I'm going to use hot pink for my sister's Stanley topper. Although her Stanley is like a light purple, but she really likes pink. Whatever. I'll just do it. And then I'm going to put some white on this little unicorn that I have that I'm going to make, and this white acrylic. So I'm going to gather, I'll take my phone with me. I'm going to gather some glitters for those. I'm on my phone doing my live today. So I think I'm going to do, I might do this gold right here for the turkey in the house. I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I really like it, so I'm going to try to use it. And I need black for a couple of things. I already forgot what else I'm doing. I have the white. I have the pink. I'm going to look for one more gold, though. I'm not 100% sure that's the gold I want to do on the house. This gold will work. I have another gold, but I don't know where it is. Well, I have like 7,000 different ones, but I have one specific one that I'm looking for. I don't know where it is. That's okay. That's how it is, you know? I have so much glitter. It's kind of gross. Okay. I also need some sandpaper, so give me a sec. I have some right here. I'm gonna do two different methods here. Hold on, but I do need a phone charger. My phone's gonna die. Can you bring me a phone charger, please? Okay, so when you're doing your acrylic legs, They come with a brown, usually, paper coating, and I like to work on one side at a time. So I have this pin pen. I got it on Amazon. That just helps take it off. You can use your fingernail, but sometimes it's just hard. And so I always leave the backing on one side and then work on the other, because if anything like spills over, it'll just protect it. And then when you peel off the paper on the back side, it will still be clean. So when I do certain, hold on, I got my phone charger. Oh, it's gonna have trouble standing now. Okay, all right, struggling. Maybe. Okay. Trying to figure out how to balance my phone and charge it at the same time. Okay. It's probably gonna fall again. One problem, I just used the glitter that I'm trying to use for this demonstration, but okay, we'll figure that out. That seems like a later problem. Okay, so take off the brown paper on one side, and then you want to sand it to prep. I'm using CrystaLac's Grand Finale for this. It's water-based and non-toxic, and it's really important that you prep your surface. It doesn't need much. Cheryl, I know, right? He is so kind. But I am having trouble. This phone is for sure gonna fall. So bear with me if it does. I don't know where my other thing is. I'm using, it doesn't really matter, but okay. So you want to make sure that you prep it. And you have two options. You can either mix your glitter in with your Grand Finale, or you can put on your Grand Finale, sprinkle on the glitter. If you're new to Grand Finale, let me know in the chat. If you've done it before, you can basically make an acrylic blank like you'd make a tumbler if you've already done tumblers, or a pen, or you can mix the glitter in with it. It works a little bit better to mix it in on a blank versus a tumbler, just because you're not like moving it around. But you can pretty much do it either way. So this is a chunky glitter that I'm gonna use. So I'm actually gonna try to mix this one in because it's a little chunky. So I'm gonna start with some Grand Finale in a little cup. I always use a popsicle stick, or I actually sometimes use reusable silicone stir sticks to try to reduce some of the waste that I make here in the craft room. So I'm just gonna put some glitter in here, and I don't like measure it out, but you want it to be like pretty concentrated. Like you don't want it to be super chunky, but you don't want it to be like mostly Grand Finale. I don't know how to explain it, but you want it to have a consistency where it's pretty full of glitter, but not chunky. If it starts to get chunky or like really, really thick, then that would be too much glitter. Okay, so like you can't really do it wrong. You really can't. So once you sand your blank, you also want to make sure you clean it. You can just use a little water on a paper towel. I'm literally using my hand, but it's best to like wipe it away with some water. So I'm gonna try to move back here so you guys can see this. I really wish I had my other thing, but basically, whoop, I'll try to do it up here. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this on. And then I'm gonna use my popsicle stick to spread it out. Something you could do, depending on the type of glitter that you're using, like this is an iridescent glitter, so it's a little see-through, which is fine. That's the look that I'm kind of going for. But if you're doing acrylic blanks, especially something that's just one-sided, like this Stanley topper or like a badge reel or something, you could all make them all one-sided technically. You could paint your blank first. So I'm gonna try to show this to you without this falling over. You can see a little bit of the brown paper like through the blank. I just spilled it everywhere because this glitter is see-through. But if you wanted to make it a little bit easier, or like you wanted to make it more opaque, you could paint it first. But basically I'm just taking this to the edge and now I'm gonna let this sit. I'm just gonna let that sit. Now I've gotta find a way to wipe my hands. But if you paint the blank first, a color that you're gonna like need it, I'll show you on the black and the white here in a second. It helps make that base a little bit easier and it makes the glitter look more full coverage. Because the plastic acrylic is clear, you can see through a lot of the glitter and you can see those imperfections a lot easier than if you were to have a base coat on your item. So let me show you with the black. Cheryl says, I haven't tried Grande Finale yet, trying to use all the bright tone that I have first. That is good. That's good. Bright tone is amazing. I used it for many years before I switched to Grande Finale. I'm using up my bright tone on like my wood signs and things. But I have like a lot of it. So I have a lot of making to do to use up those supplies, but I am trying to use up, you know, things, what I have before I buy new things. So I do like bright tone. I do like Grande Finale. I'm gonna do these mouse ears in black as well. So this is the black acrylic. It's solid black. And then these are clear. And like I said, it would be helpful to base paint this first because it is clear. You'll be able to see through a little bit on the black, but it's not that bad. It's just that if you're not putting any vinyl over it, you might need a second coat when you wouldn't otherwise, if that makes sense. So basically, if you glitter one side, I generally, it depends like what I'm doing. It really depends what I'm doing. But I'll put glitter on one side and then vinyl on the other. So I'm working on both sides of the blank. But you could do glitter, get it fully smooth, and put your vinyl and get it smooth on the same side. Another option is you could, if you're using a color, like a normal color permanent vinyl, you could mirror your cut, put your vinyl on first, so it's like backwards, but you'd be able to see it through the other side and then put the glitter on top of it. So you can't do that with pattern vinyl or like the textured vinyl or any of the specialty vinyl. It's just like the Oracle 651 that's the same color on both sides where that works for. So you have options. There's no one right or wrong way to do it. If you're not sure what you want to do, then what I always tell people is practice. Do you do it a bunch of different ways? I've made like hundreds, 1,000 of these blanks, and I still sometimes switch up the method that I do it. So my vision right now is that I'm gonna glitter the backside, get it smooth, and then I'm gonna put like this little bow vinyl. There's like a little bow that comes up here that I'm gonna put on the other side. So like that's my plan for this one. For the Stanley topper that I just did, I'm not even actually gonna get it fully smooth. I'm gonna do a few layers of Grande Finale on top of the glitter I just did, but since that's gonna be face down on top of the cup, I don't need it to be fully smooth. I actually need the other side to look better. Does that make sense? So like I'm gonna do some coats, get it decently smooth, not fully smooth, and then I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna put my sister's name on it, and then I'm gonna put a few coats of Grand Finale on top of that and call it a day. So that's my plan. As long as it looks good, it doesn't really need to be fully smooth, but it's not like, I don't want it to look bad. I just want it just depends on the actual function of what you're trying to do. So hopefully that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people get caught up on like, oh my gosh, do I do this? Do I do that? You can do anything, really. You can do anything that you want, as long as you are happy with the outcome. So I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to put on glitter to black. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna mix it in on this one, and I'm not gonna mix it in on this one. I'm gonna show you the difference. So if you're not gonna mix it in, you're gonna start by just putting Grand Finale on your blank, and I'm just gonna spread this with my finger, getting it all the way to the edges. You don't want to miss any spots, because if you miss a spot, then you're not going to have any glitter sticking there. You don't need a lot. In fact, you want to keep your layers thin, and I know Cheryl, who was here, still is here maybe, is using Bright Tone. So if you're using Bright Tone, you want to do even thinner layers than with the Grand Finale. Okay, so hold on, I gotta swap out the glitter that's holding up my phone to grab the black. There we go. And now I'm gonna grab, hold on, I need a piece of paper. I'm gonna put paper under it to catch my glitter. And, oops, I bumped it. I'm just going to take this and sprinkle it on. And it's gonna kind of sink in. I always put like more glitter than I need, like it's fully covered and I'm still going, because I'm going to knock it. I'm gonna put all of this excess back in here. So when I pick it up, just be careful because you don't want to touch the top. I'm gonna knock off any excess. And this coverage was actually really, really good. So if you saw any of your brown backing, or if you took the backing off, like I can see a little bit of where it's coming through, but like you're not going to be able to see that on your end. But this is what that looks like. So then I'm just going to tap off any excess, and I'm going to let this dry for 2 hours before I do anything else. So that's how you would do it if you're just going to sprinkle it on. But you could use a little bit less glitter if you have a black base already. And this is especially helpful if you're using iridescent glitter. So this black is not iridescent. Iridescent glitter just means that it's, or an opal glitter just means that it's see-through. And like the original pink that I use, which is why you can see a lot of the brown behind it. This is an opal glitter. You see how you can see like my glasses through here? It's an iridescent glitter. So you can see right through it. And that's the look I was going for. And if you don't want that look and you want full coverage, having that base coat can help. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put a little Grand Finale in this cup, just like I did last time. I don't need much. And I can actually use a little bit less glitter here than I did on the first one, because I have this black base. Painting acrylic blanks though can prove a little challenging, only because it can get messy. So again, I would leave the paper backing on it and just be careful of the sides. You can take your finger and wipe it away. You can take like a paper towel and some rubbing alcohol or a magic eraser and wipe it away, or spray paint. Really, makes painting the blanks easier. Okay, so I'm gonna show you where we are at with this black glitter. So, oops. Can you see that? Okay. So it's not like super chunky. It's actually a little bit more grand finale. And because this has a black base, it's gonna be easier. So I'm just going to scoop this on and then spread it around, because now in between any glitter specks that might not have full coverage, we're gonna have black paint. Well, this is not paint, but a black acrylic showing through, so you don't even know that it doesn't have full coverage. It like gives you that illusion. That's why we base paint our tumblers too, because it just helps. Well, one, it helps things stick. Although I forgot to sand this one, if you guys noticed. So also make sure that you prep. We have a couple bubbles coming through, so I'm just literally blowing on them. So let me show you. I didn't use a lot of glitter. And it looks like I have full coverage. Again, it's like kind of an illusion. And a reason why you might want to base paint your blanks. It's really optional. And there isn't one way to do things, but it is nice to base paint. I'm gonna actually pull off this other like mouse ear blank that I have, and I'm gonna use the rest of my mix because I'm gonna show you what I mean by the coverage. I just think having a visual is probably helpful. So if you're hopping on late, which is fine, I've been on for almost 40 minutes. I started today by talking about a craft show that I did. So I would love to know in the chat if you've done a craft show or a market, or it's something you want to do, because acrylic blanks like this are actually really nice. They're really easy to make. You can get blanks for like $1, depending on how many you buy. And they're relatively, you can do like so many. Coating them takes like 5 seconds. So getting them smooth is really easy. I get my blanks from mostly Zindy.com, and then those come with the an SVG cut file, the right size to add some vinyl to it. So if you look on their website, you'll like see it comes with, you get the blank mailed to you, and then like in your account you get the SVG file to cut vinyl, so you can add the details. So here's an example of what I mean by getting full coverage. When you have a base paint and not when you don't. So this is what this mouse looks like. And it's the same mix, the same glitter, but it does not look as good because I haven't base painted it black. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're making your blanks. Again, you can do it any way that you want. Nobody's coming over and saying, you did that wrong. It's your choice. It really doesn't matter. And you'll kind of figure out what you like to do and how you like to do it. So because this one doesn't actually look very good though, I'm gonna add some glitter to it, okay? And I don't feel like base painting the other side. So I'm gonna sprinkle some glitter on here, although I just messed it up. And like, you can combine methods. So I said, you know what, that doesn't really look very good. I also don't feel like base painting it, so I'm just gonna add glitter to it. You know what I mean? You can always change your mind. So that's what the black glitter looks like. Let me show you what this gold glitter looks like. I'm super excited about, oh, hang on, I gotta save. I need to save this glitter. I'm like literally like almost out. That never happens. There's like 3 colors. There's like 3 colors that I've ever like actually ran out of. This black, which is called Black Magic from Glitzy Creations. There should be a link in the description of this video, but if there's not, you can just go to glitzycreationswithk.com. And this is Black Magic, and the other glitter that I use all the time is Emily's Pearl. This is my favorite white. I will show you what that looks like as well. Oh, the paper that I brought over here to glitter on is double-sided. Give me a sec. Okay, try to recycle as much as I can. Okay, so another one that helps to base coat another color would be white. So like if you're doing on a white acrylic, you wouldn't have to base coat it, but if you had a clear acrylic, it does help to base coat it. So I'm gonna do gold on this house. And I suppose it doesn't really matter which direction, but I think the chimney, I think it's supposed to go this way. So like this is the front. So I'm gonna glitter the back side and put the vinyl on the front. And this is gonna be like a, I don't know exactly what it's gonna say. I kind of missed the mark on our first Christmas in our new home, but maybe I'll do like just their address or something, like, and just say like our home. I don't know yet. This is a 3-inch acrylic blank. I like the 3 inches for ornaments, and you could get keychains that are 3 inches. I actually prefer the 2-inch size or even 2.5 inches for a keychain, and it really depends on the actual blank, but I use the 3 inches for any ornaments or the home signs that I make. That's what I do for that. So let me swap out this glitter as well since I'm done with the black. Sorry about it. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna do this gold called Champagne Toast. Since this is a chunky mix, well, it's like a medium chunky mix, I'm gonna also mix this one in to my grand finale. And I'm going to do it on the turkey as well. I think this turkey is the same on front and back. Sometimes they're not fully symmetrical, so you wanna make sure you know which side is which before you glitter or before you cut your vinyl and put your vinyl on. Just something to keep in mind. But I'm gonna do both of these at the same time, since I'm gonna use the same glitter. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday if you celebrate, or got through it if it's not always your best day. Let me know in the chat if you have any plans for New Year's. I'm not like a big New Year's person. I mean, I have 2 young kids, so I'm not like doing anything crazy. We're gonna get together with some family and make some good food, and probably won't stay up till midnight. I'm in Central Time Zone. A lot of times we just watch the ball drop in New York, which is 11 o'clock our time. No. Yes, 11 o'clock our time, and then we go to bed. I've made jokes years, like when my kids were babies, like, I'm gonna celebrate in London time, and then I'm going to bed at like 7. But I go to bed early and I wake up early, especially because I have very small kids. Staying up till midnight really isn't always my thing. But we do like to get together with some people, some family to celebrate. So I'm just spreading this around. This gold is literally so pretty. I love it so much. Oops. It's called Champagne Toast. Try to give you a close-up once I'm done spreading it. One thing about mixing with Grand Finale or Bright Tone, you can do this with Bright Tone as well, is that it will cut down on the amount. It won't be fully smooth after it dries, okay? So the difference between if you are an epoxy person or a UV resin person, CrystaLac products, this is specifically is Grand Finale, they're water-based and they dry a lot thinner than epoxy or UV resin. It's safer, it's water-based, I don't have to use protection, I can do it in my house, there's nothing to worry about there, but it does take more coats. You need to let each coat dry for 2 hours, and it won't be fully smooth after it dries. So this will need an additional few coats of Grand Finale over the top. And since this one specifically is like it's not like a big, it's like a medium chunky mix, it'll take a little bit more. But it does help the glitter lay really, really flat. And it gives you a head start on getting it smooth. So it takes less coats when you mix it in versus when you sprinkle it on. I treat an acrylic blank literally the exact same as I would a tumbler. So I'll let this dry and then I'll just recoat my Grand Finale every 2 hours until it's smooth. I'll sand it down after a few coats and then just keep going until I'm happy with it. The black ones that I did that I sprinkled on, if you're sprinkling it on, you don't have to, but you could seal with glitter glue and then move on to your Grand Finale. So you could do like 1 or 2 coats of your glitter glue and then keep going with your Grand Finale just like it's a tumbler if you are doing it that way. That'll just cut down on the amount of coats that you need, but you do need to be careful about getting it dripping on the side, especially with your glitter glue. So make sure you clean up your edges as you go. So let me see if I can show you this gold that I've got going on here. Move this out of the way. So this will be my base for both the house and the turkey. I'm not used to going live on my phone, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's okay. We'll survive. So I'm just gonna move these out of the way. Whoops, not you. And let them dry. So again, Grand Finale needs to dry for 2 hours before you recoat it. And you're just gonna keep going until it's fully smooth. I do want to try out this silver glitter. Now, normally I do white on a unicorn, but I really want to try out the silver. I've had it for so long. It's from the Glitter Pharmacy. I'm not sure if they're still in business. Hopefully they are, but I'm not sure. And they're really cute. All of their glitters are names of like medication. And so I'm going to use this. And I'm trying to remember which way is the front. I think the hole is on the left side. So I'm going to do that. Where is my... Well, I don't know where it is. Looking for my pen to help me take this off, but I'll just use my nail. So let me know in the chat if you've made acrylic blanks, because I really like making them. This is actually how I got started in this whole thing. This whole thing started. I think I was in like some random crafting group that I thought would help me learn more about like using my silhouette. And somebody had posted their keychains. It could have been this exact shape. Her name was Karen, I remember. And I was like, I need to make those. And so I started doing them with epoxy. I quickly was like, I got into this whole thing because, I don't know, the sparkles, the glitter, it's just really fun. I started making tumblers, and then I pretty quickly after that realized that I really should not be using epoxy for my health and in my house and all of those things that I just didn't know before. So I switched to CrystaLac back many moons ago when there was only a handful of people doing it, and then I started my YouTube channel. So it's kind of funny that these are what brought me here. So I think I'm just gonna sprinkle on this one to make it go a little bit faster so I don't have to mix it together. So if you're gonna put on your grand finale or your bright tone, and I prefer to use grand finale or bright tone versus glitter glue, especially on blanks, because it's just easier to spread the grand finale and the bright tone without making it messy. The glitter glue, like you really need to brush it and it just gets messy and it doesn't like level out. So I will apply my glitter with bright tone or grand finale on a blank, and then I'll seal it with the glitter glue. You totally can apply it with glitter glue. It's a little messier. Okay, so I'm just like literally loading this on, okay? Because then I want to make sure there's enough, and I kind of want to give it a second to sink in and kind of spread a little bit and just really get attached to that grand finale before, oh, I'm gonna need that, before I shake off any excess. And the excess will come off. I just like to load it on there before I tap, tap, tap. This is pretty. I like that one. Okay. Exciting. And then I just take my excess and put it back in the bin. Although I probably should have gotten one more piece of paper. You know what? I'm just gonna fold it in half and do it that way. So I've got this, I'm gonna do two more, I think. Ooh, maybe three. I am going to do them with white glitter. So this one is a white blank. Oh, excuse me. This one is white acrylic. These are really cool because you could also do sublimation on these. So I do a lot of sublimation. Like I said in the beginning, the sublimation cups and tumblers that I did for my craft show were some of my best sellers, and they're so easy, and you can price them lower because they're easy. And they don't take very long. So I do a lot of sublimation, but you can sub on clear or on white acrylic. I haven't done it in a long time. I should probably do it and make a video. But I am gonna do some glitter on this blank. Really wish I didn't misplace that pen of mine, but that's okay. I gotta use my nails. Sometimes the paper is hard to get off. So if you have like a weeding tool, that's usually what I use. But I had it 20 minutes ago and now it's gone. I haven't been live in a while, and if you've been on I used to go live every single week. You guys can let me know in the chat if you want me to restart that, but I haven't. And if you used to be on those lives, you know that I lose things as I'm using them all the time. This is actually a 3D piece. So I have 2 of these Christmas trees, okay? And then I've got, ooh, maybe I don't have a Christmas tree. All right, well, I won't do, that's weird. Okay, well, then maybe we'll do this one instead. This little iced coffee situation. So I've got 2 of these. They're probably somewhere else. So I've got 2 of these, and then 1 teeny tiny little clear piece that goes in between to make it 3D, which is pretty cool. So at some point I have to glue this together, but I am gonna glitter the back of it white and get that mostly smooth. And then you can fill it with liquid, which a lot of people do, like the snow globe liquid. You do want to make sure that you're using glue made for plastic, and that stuff is pretty toxic, so be safe when you use it. Or you can just use regular glue and fill it with like polymer clay. Like I have these right here. You could fill it with like the little polymer clay beads, like with a specific theme. You could just fill it with glitter, but not any liquid. So like you could shake it, but it wouldn't have like the snow globe liquid. If you guys want me to make a tutorial, I can do that with this. I just haven't gotten around to making them. It's just been busy. It's a busy time of year. Busy when you got little kids too. So they're on winter break. So I'm actually surprised that I'm able to get on here live. But if you have kids, then you know that sometimes we just gotta step away for a moment. And I thought I should do that and make some blanks. So I'm just gonna spread out my grand finale, making a mess. And these I'm just gonna sprinkle on my glitter. So let me know in the chat if you have any questions about CrystaLac, about blanks, about tumblers. If this is your first time hopping onto my channel, I've got like 200 tutorials on blanks, on pens, on tumblers, and I always use CrystaLac for those tutorials. Yes, absolutely, you can ask a question about whatever you want. It doesn't have to be about blanks or grand finale. I also have been adding some new things on my channel. I've got, I recently got an X-Tool M1, which is a laser engraver. And I also have a direct-to-film printer because I've been doing transfers for shirts and apparel. So I have those on my channel as well. And as we move into the new year, I really want to talk more about selling my work. I do sell my stuff. I do a show or 2 every year. I sell my website. I sell a lot just like by word of mouth locally. So I do want to share that with you guys. So you guys, if that's something you want to do, you can learn as well. So that's hopefully what I'm doing moving forward. I also started a second YouTube channel. It has nothing to do with crafting. It has a lot to do with education and teaching others how to teach online. So if you are so interested, I would love your support. In the description of this live stream is my new channel. I'm going to be posting every week on a new video after the new year. So I would love your support. Elizabeth asked, have you ever put grand finale on ribbon? I have not, but I am curious what you're trying to do with it. I have put it on shoes. I've glittered shoes, like canvas, like cloth shoes. So it'll definitely stick, but it's not super flexible, so I haven't done it. And if you're like tying the ribbon, I wouldn't necessarily do that. But if you're doing like, if you have like a ribbon and you're like on little stems, is that what you call it? I don't know, have like a little design, like a heart or something, like that you could use, but like I wouldn't cover the whole thing in glitter and then tie it. But you could try it. I've just not done it. I would worry about it not being flexible. So I put on my glitter and I'm just gonna tap off any excess. Ooh, see, I used too much. It's like dripping. So I have way too much on here. But that's okay. It'll level it out. I want to wrap it around a pen and seal with Grand Finale. Oh, that should be fine. That should be totally fine. I've done it on fabric. That should work great. I'm excited to see it. Share it with me. Message it to me on Instagram. I would love to see how that turns out. So here we are. But yes, you can totally use fabric. You should be fine with your ribbon. If there is a small chance, like depending on what's on the ribbon or if there's any special coating, if you're seeing any like repelling, I would seal it a few times with your glitter glue and then go in with your Grand Finale. And it should be just fine. That'll look really cool. Let me know when you're done with it. I would love to see it. So that's it on blanks, and that's it on the new year. I hope you guys had a great holiday. I hope you have a great new year. I'm super excited on talking more about different projects on the channel. I've been like doing tumblers only for so long, to bring in some different crafts and to really talk more about my journey as a seller. And if you are interested in like bringing in a little bit of income with selling your work, I would love to help you with that as we move into the new year. So thank you so much for being here and Happy New Year.